The headlines: the Ministry of Mines, Energy and Rural Electrification is working closely with the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development to upskill local workers so they can operate the Tina River Hydro Power Plant once it is completed. Honourable Derek Pongi has called on the national government to add a 11th provincial ward and a second constituency for the province. And the Solomon Islands Electoral Commission 2024 to 2028 strategic plan will see reforms of the Electoral Act. Hello, you're watching SIBC's TV News Bulletin. I'm Sharon Nanao. The Ministry of Mines, Energy and Rural Electrification is working closely with the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development to upskill local workers so they can operate the Tina River Hydro Power Plant upon its completion. Director Energy Gabriela Aimaya, during the project's talkback show held recently, said that plans are underway to offer scholarships to qualified officers and individuals starting early next year.
We've been talking with our Ministry of Education and looking at providing scholarships for our young youths now, where out by interest law, that for technical area law, engineering, we have deal with them hydro. So we propose to the Ministry of Education, especially NTU, to start and look for sponsors or giving scholarships to students now, because we are now in 2025 and some of these courses are 4 years. So we want them to start implementing or offering these technical courses for students by next year, so that by 2028 or 2029 they graduate, they can join the Tina River Hydropower project. So that is also one. Another one is we are working with Project Office in terms of capacity building for current SIG officers within the Ministry of Mines, the Ministry of Environment, so that they can be. We are also working on an attachment-based training with the Project Office, so that all the government officers too by capacity for. Because the Project Office will finish on
early 29.
So that is why it's very important that the transition period, the government must also aware of what now for doing.
Meanwhile, project manager Mr. Pradeep Verma confirmed that the developer of the project is also responsible for training locals to operate the machines.
From 2028 to 2058, Tina Hydropower Limited, the developer, will actually run the plant. They'll operate the plant and they'll supply the electricity, and they will also maintain the plant. So when the generators, the turbines are being maintained, they will also be training Solomon Islands Electricity Authority employees during that period for 30 years. So it is also capacity building to be done by the developer. It's one of the responsibilities of the South Koreans. So that will happen. And then, as Director Gabriel said, we have got this relationship with the project office. So we are working on the biodiversity management plans for the Upper Tina catchment. That will continue infinitely. I mean, you just can't stop that. So Upper Tina catchment, coal land, the biodiversity management plans are being prepared and they'll be implemented during 30 years and even beyond that. So once we second people from MECDM and from MMERE to the project office, those people can be trained, because the project office is actually working on those plans and helping with the implementation. They can be trained. And when the project office closes in 2029, the government of Solomon Islands can take over and make sure that the biodiversity management plans are implemented properly.
Now, Premier of Renal and Bellona Province, Honourable Derek Pongi, has urged the national government to create an 11th ward and a second constituency for the province, saying the move would help resolve political deadlocks and boost development efforts. Andrea Mahanua reports.
Premier of Renal and Bellona Province, Honourable Derek Pongi, has called on the national government to add an 11th provincial ward and a second constituency for the province. Honourable Pongi made the call during the province's second appointed day celebrations last week. He said adding an 11th ward would help break ongoing political deadlocks that have slowed down development in the province.
Our province has 10 wards, an even number that has caused issues during elections of premiers and speakers over the years. we urge the Prime Minister and the Minister of Provincial Government and Institutional Strengthening to consider establishing an additional ward in Reno and Bellona before the 2028 election. This would help resolve current challenges and improve service delivery. Additional constituency. Our provincial assembly has unanimously passed a motion to revisit the idea of creating an additional constituency in Reno and Bellona province. We look forward to engaging with the national government for its consideration.
Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Reno and Bellona constituency, Honorable John Tuhaika Jr., said an additional constituency will allow for a fair share of government development projects to the province. Honorable Tuhaika said the additional constituency is a call that looks to the future of the province.
For all these years, one of the difficulties blowing me for progress is the fact that when it comes to assessment of development projects, we always do not meet the criteria. One of the biggest criteria is population. Unfortunately, because of that criteria, you may fall out a lot of national projects. I say this acknowledging also Project Wahemguedlo Bellona. But this comes to this additional constituency where Premier touched on. At the provincial level, they talk about an additional ward. At the national level, we are also calling for an additional constituency. Because for us, that is the only equal funding that can come to us is this CDF. Perhaps if we have one more additional seat, we can continue to build our constituency within that CDF. In fact, the project that we're working on down at the road is fully funded by CDF, and that's something that we should be proud of.
Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manele, who also attended the event, acknowledged the concerns raised and encouraged the provincial government and responsible ministries to work together to address the issue. Andrea Mahanwa for SIBC TV.
SIEC is set to reform the Electoral Act as part of its 2024 and 2028 strategic plan, with Chief Electoral Officer Jasper Highwood Anisi emphasizing the need for thorough consultation and legal reviews to ensure the changes are implemented before the 2028 national elections. Eliza Kukutu with the details.
The Solomon Islands Electoral Commission SIEC 2024-2028 strategic plan will see reforms of the Electoral Act. Speaking to SIBC TV, SIEC Chief Electoral Officer Jasper Highwood Anisi said, in carrying out the electoral reforms, they are well aware of the challenges faced to have the reforms completed and implemented before the 2028 national elections. He said consultations, legal reviews, and proper legislative procedures must be carefully followed to ensure the reforms are robust and inclusive.
So there are certain reforms that you have different ideas about. So for example, one of it is the definition of ordinary residents. We were looking at that reform, law section 4, Law Electoral Act, and that is one of the challenging one where Mifalagaram in stock, and we will try as much as possible consult with him or the legislature. We've done it with the people, law province and stakeholders. Now we are coming close to the members of parliament more for talk with him on the definition and the challenges Mifala looking in terms of definition below what now ordinary residents, because inside Law Electoral Act, ordinarily residents and means something. You can be living in Honiara but also deemed to be ordinarily resident in your village even though you not stay there. So those kind of challenges we want to amalgamate and see how best we can come up with a definition that will help suit awesome Stakamansa say for addressing now issue block cross border. So that is one of the biggest challenges during the registration in 2023 in preparation for 24 elections. So that's why that reform, to me, that would be the biggest challenging one. But we have other reforms too also for help improve Waka Bloemfontein and accomplishing what now planned Bloemfontein inside law strategy.
For SIBC TV, I'm Eliza Kukutu.
The Tina River Hydro Power Development Project is implementing comprehensive environmental safeguards and community complaint systems to manage risks with funds allocated for natural disaster responses, as it aims to provide cleaner, more reliable energy and reduce reliance on diesel fuel. Andrea Mahanua reports.
The Tino River Hydropower Development Project has taken steps to manage all environmental risks associated with the multi-million-dollar initiative. Project manager Pradeep Verma highlighted during a recent talkback show that the project is guided by 31 environmental and social safeguard management plans. These plans help to protect the environment and nearby communities during construction and operation. Mr. Verma said the project also has a system in place for communities to report any concerns or complaints. These reports are reviewed and addressed by the project team.
And then the project office job is to actually monitor and evaluate that the right things are happening at site. So we have things like, we also have a grievance redressal mechanism. We have a gender action plan. So they are all part of the ESMPs. Then we have a biodiversity management plan, which is for the Upper Tina catchment and also for the foreland. So the project company is going to plant about 20,000 trees. So all the trees that they have cut, they will actually revegetate that area. So we do have issues like, sedimentation, which is all being managed, noise monitoring, water pollution that is being managed. And then we must make sure that the communities are not impacted. So if the communities feel that they're impacted, there is a grievance redressal mechanism. So up to now, we have received in writing 140 grievances from the communities, of which 137 grievances have been closed, have been addressed. There are only now 3 grievances pending, and they are being managed by the project office and by the developer. So we are very, very confident, the environmental aspects are being managed extremely well. So this project is being funded by the World Bank, Asian Development Bank, Green Climate Fund, Economic Development Cooperation Fund, the Government of Australia, and Asian Development Bank. And these
He added that funds have been set aside to respond to natural disasters like landslides, which could affect the project.
Yes, so when we did the feasibility studies, going back to 2009 and all the way up to 2016, a lot of studies have been carried out in terms of seismology, in terms of landslides, and that's why they have selected Site 7C. So yes, we know that there are landslides. So in the project funding, there is contingent amount of $7 million US kept for ground conditions. So if there is a landslide during the construction period, during the operational period, that fund will be used for managing that. And the catchment area is 2.5 kilometers from the dam site. Yeah, it's a huge catchment area. So the useful water is about 1,400 million liters. If you look at the overall water, it'll be in billions of liters. Yeah, but the useful water, the first 5 meters on the top, is where it'll be used for generation of electricity. So even if there are minor landslides, they'll be all taken care of in the reservoir area. It should not affect the plant. Yeah?
The Tino River Hydro Project is expected to reduce the country's reliance on diesel fuel and provide more reliable, clean energy. Andrea Mahanwa for SIBC TV.
And now the latest in sports with the Crofton Utukana.
The national under-16 women's football team left the country yesterday to compete in the World Cup Under-17 Qualifiers Championship in Samoa. Speaking to SIBC TV assistant coach, Priscilla Tariga said the team has prepared well for the competition and they are happy with the mixture of players in the team.
Preparation blood team hemi 3 months, which is me finishing Wednesday this week, and head coach with him, team blood technical team, keeper coach, we're happy with him performance and blood girls. We're ready for go competition. Within this team, we got 9 new ones where we make a trial May 5th, May 3, mi fala mekem trial, and there are total of 96 girls were turn up for the sala trial, which is barva increase from past years. And then where ota Honiara base noma, where ota come from Honiara clubs too, and some schools too, lo town. And some fala were representing country too, lo under 16 last year, and under 19 just finished lo qualifying, lo tonga this year lo March. So a lot of experienced players inside the team.
The national team hopes to reach the competition's grand final.
As me for happy with team performance, below team, lo preparation. Me for hope and me for like for achieving for reaching na grand final. For me for save go World Cup for giving more one step forward below international level. Big changes to us now. Me looking at the girls where from last year and this year, which is very improved, and hope me for doing better from previous years and this year I look different for local side below Solomon Islands where I representing country lo Samoa, and me happy to mas. I mean, you may not got any base overseas base. Me happy to mas for developing na o kata young girls play me lo Solomon Islands lo koni. So yeah, me for hope that me for kasim second or first lo for qualify for final.
Mrs. Tariga adds the team will be taking each game at a time and will not underestimate any team in the competition. She says the players are excited and motivated to represent the country on international stage.
Me follow by taking one game at a time, and me follow just respecting all the opponents. Me follow that they are good, but me follow playing what now. Me follow plan for system of game where me follow playing lo three follow match lo pool matches below me follow where by me save enable me follow whatever results him come out the three follow matches ya him na ba for me sa goal in mo lo next step lo competition.
Crofton Otukana, SIBC TV.
And that's news. Follow us on sibconline.com.sb and our SIBC News Facebook page for more of our latest stories. Thanks for watching.